Hey, scrappy people, Tracy Reed here today, coming at you with a layout for National Scrapbooking Day for Citrus Twist Kids. So happy National Scrapbooking Day, happy National Scrapbooking Weekend. Today I'm going to be using the brand new Crafty release. It is called, what is it called? Where did that paper go? Here it is. It is called Crafting Memories, and it is adorable. Sort of a sequel to last year's Crafty Kit, so they go together really well. And I'm going to not be scrapbooking. I'm going to be scrapbooking this cross stitch that I am making for our bathroom. We have a sense of humor around here, so it says, "Please don't summon demons in the bathroom." And so here's a photo of me working on it, and I'm co-sponsoring the 3 to Inspire challenge for INSD, and there are 3 things that need to be included in this layout. 1 are alpha stickers, so I've got some alpha stickers here. 2 is florals, so I've got the florals from the cut apart sheets here, and then the 3rd was stamps. So I've also got alpha stamps here. I'm gonna pull in my old stamp stash from Citrus Twist and see if I can find anything that's really gonna work here. I might just do a title with both of these alphas here and kill 2 birds with 1 stone. I'm not quite sure yet, but here are all of the papers I'm going to be working with, and I have a selection of embellishments pulled out here as well, so let's get started. I love the layouts where I have no idea where I'm going and yet they come out so fun. So this layout is one of those layouts, and obviously I knew that I wanted to use the embroidery hoops that were included both in this year's collection and in last year's collection. But really, other than that, I didn't have much of a direction for this page. So I'm just kind of winging it here, flying by the seat of my pants. There is this paper that has the embroidery hoops as well. So of course that was a given. But when I put my photos on top of this paper, I was like, that's a lot. That's a lot going on there. What else can we do? So I have this work in progress word strip. I was initially going to use the work in progress journaling card, but I decided to start paring things down. Since I had a word strip that said work in progress, I decided to go with that instead. So I'm going to keep this journaling card, which I have also trimmed down slightly. And then I'm going to mat it on this, or I'm going to use this blue paper on the other side. So I'm just kind of pulling out some word bits that I thought might work. I decided to go immediately with stamping because I needed to make sure that I got stamping in on this page. So I'm pairing this Tiny Words Explore stamp set from last year with the brand new Travel Light stamp set from this year, and I'm making a little sentiment here that I'm going to stamp on this journaling block, and it's going to say, what does it say? Oh, time well spent with this camera, and I thought that that was a good way to incorporate some stamping on here when I really have 2 very busy backgrounds going on, so I didn't want to stamp on the background. So I put it on this label instead, and now I'm going to start collaging all of my stuff, and I still didn't really have a direction as I was doing this. Then I thought, okay, this sort of almost like a mood board, vision board feel will work with this page, and I like the direction that that's going. So I'm going to combine a lot of these straight edges with some circles to sort of mimic this embroidery hoop and just the embroidery theme of this whole page. So this says making things makes me happy, and then I'm going to incorporate another sentiment towards the end that will tie into that making things make me happy. And I decided to go with, instead of this one, I'm going to go with the square photo, and I'm going to eventually trim down the photo of the embroidery hoop itself to be embroidery hoop shape. So I'm going to cut off all that white background. But first I'm going to work on this side, and I don't put it on this side, I'm going to put it on the other side of the page. But again, I'm running into that struggle of the other side of the page has that gorgeous pattern on it, but it's so busy. So I decided to cut up this paper and use both of these notebook ledger pieces as sort of file folders, obviously, on this page. So I'm going to do them horizontally, and I'm going to leave some space in between the 2 where I apply the adhesive so I can tuck things in between the two papers. So I'm just trimming these down to 5 inches wide, and I'm going to stack them towards the bottom of the page. I'm only applying adhesive down towards the bottom of that one so that I can stuff things in between the two. And I also don't want them to say create and memory, so I'll add some labels in there afterwards, but they're going to stay that way for a while. And I really loved this creative mischief tag, like label there, and I'm actually going to make that my title rather than use the word strip. So here's where I'm going to incorporate the florals for the challenge, and they're going to get stuffed into these folders, and they're going to create lots of visual fun for this side of the page. That actually, even though the background is busy because I added those big color blocks at the bottom, now I can add in some more embellishment over those, and it keeps it delineated enough from the background that it works really well. So I've trimmed this down to actually embroidery hoop shaped, and now I am just framing all of this with these florals, making sure I don't cover up too much of these labels, and just making sure that everything is visually aligned pretty well and working together. I really like these scissors too. They're eventually going to make it on the page, but I fuss with them quite a bit. All right, now I'm going to trim this off so that I have all this extra that was underneath there, because I always like, especially with big die cuts like this, I always like having that extra bit so that I can put it somewhere else and incorporate it in other places on the page and not waste it. More circles here. I like the echo of that big embroidery hoop with this cute little one, or little cross stitch. And then I'm going to put down these scissors and move them around quite a few times before I'm happy with them. I'm looking through the older die cuts to see if there's anything in there that will help with this page. And I decided, no, I'm just going to go with the current die cuts. So I wanted to add this yes, because I just thought it was hilarious with that sentiment on the embroidery hoop. And then I'm like, where am I going to put the title here? Because I didn't want to put it over the top of the busy paper. So it's going to go underneath on that orange. So I need to move the scissors, and I'm going to put creative mischief. Then it's going to go across the page to tie the two pages together and keep going with that sort of layered vision board look for the whole page. Now I've got my scissors down. I try to incorporate the other pair too, but I decided nah. And I really like the idea of having like these clips on here because of the whole vision board vibe, but I do end up putting one down, and it's gonna move later when I add a couple more things, but I really didn't get as many down as I thought I was going to. I thought I was gonna do at least 2. So now I'm gonna add this let's make things, and I'm not gonna put it on this side. I'm gonna put it over here on this side, and it's gonna go with that sentiment that says making things makes me happy. So it says let's make things, making things makes me happy, and then at the bottom it says time well spent. The card says beautiful things come together one stitch at a time, which is perfect for this cross stitching motif. So I really like the way that all of the sentiments are working together on this page. And I didn't love how this was exactly the right size to hit the very top edge of that photo. So like there was no staggering of the word bits. It just created a straight line across the top, which was really, really bothering me. So I decided to add this little heart bit. It's still not making me happy. I don't love the way that this looks. There's not enough, like it just needs to, that let's make things needs to go higher, and it just wasn't, and I was like frustrated about it. So the way that I kind of fixed it was I took this bit of the floral that I had cut off, and I put this at the top here, which sort of extends the visual high enough that the non-staggered edge doesn't look so obvious anymore. And I think that helped me visually, but I also put this up here because I just couldn't. I just kept moving everything around because I really, really needed I really, really needed there to not be a straight line up there. It was just like the thing I was obsessing about, and I think that that helps right there. And now it looks a little bit better, so that made me happier. All right, so I'm getting close to done here. I'm trying to figure out what else I need to add, and what I'm really feeling is first I need to cover up these labels, but then I feel like there's a lot of weird empty space in the bottom left-hand side of the right-hand side of the page, so I'm gonna fix that. So you can see I'm looking at all of these word bits, trying to figure out what I want to put on here, and there's some fun snarky ones that I think are gonna go with this motif really well, so I'm gonna put them here. This one says, I ate glue as a child, which was just funny. I just like it. So I'm gonna put this down eventually somewhere. I'm gonna put it here, I believe. And then I'm gonna trim some down for the labels as well to cover up that create memories. I almost left the create, except it said create creative mischief, and I didn't like that. So instead, I'm gonna find one that says like making creative mischief. Yeah. So that works better. It wasn't a repetitive word in verb and adjective form. There. Then I'm gonna find another one for the other label, and I trimmed them down because they were too big for the label themselves. And then when I trimmed those down, I felt like I needed to also trim down the big one at the bottom too, so I ended up doing that. And then I relocated up here, and the one that the second label one that says warning, which I thought worked really well with this page too. So it says warning, please don't summon demons in the bathroom. I loved all the snark and the way that the phrases work together on this page. So the last thing I decided to add was this last label file folder thing, and I'm going to put it under here, and that's going to extend this cluster just slightly horizontally and make it look like there's less trapped space down there in the corner, and I think that that really helped finish off this page. And of course I need another label to go there as well, and so I add one more pink label, and then I call it good. Oh yeah, I have to relocate this clip too. But if you enjoyed this video, I'd love it if you give it a thumbs up. If you're new here, go ahead and subscribe. I would love to have you. If you don't already, you can follow me over on Instagram. I'm at Tracy M. Reed. I'd love to see you over there as well. You can join in the CTK INSD. Wow, that was a lot of letters. CTK INSD challenges over on their Facebook page, and I will see you next time. All right, thank you.